Hello everyone, welcome back to another timeless reading. This is What Are Your Finances Up To? Let's check out what your finances are and what's coming in terms of money and what you should be looking forward to, you know. Not all things are bad, so keep on holding in there and just keep on going, keep on working on it. And I will check you. Uh, I will see you at your timestamps down below. So let's get into it. Bye bye. See you soon. Okay, first off, we have the blue heart. I always think of. Weirdly enough, I'm feeling like discount tickets. So it could be just search for a better deal, kind of think about like what you want and see if you can get it any cheaper. That's what I feel. Firstly, bring love into the situation and work through your fears. It could be actually time to think about how this affects you generally in your money. It could be that you are holding on to money with fear, which is never good. And also, you do not love money. Now, that doesn't mean that you can sit and go, okay, money in general is kind of like people that think that you cannot love money because money then makes you selfish or makes you greedy. If you love money, you must be a horrible person. And it's not that. It's not like that at all. Um Putting love into money means that you are going to hold it in a certain way that is best suited for that, and you actually care where your money goes compared to not. And that can be the difference between having a lack mindset and actually having a growth mindset when it comes to money. The devil in reverse. Now, this has gone on for far too long. It's actually turning into addiction for you. This kind of fear based around your money. And so, therefore, it's kind of like you've got to a point that you need to let go of that kind of thing and give yourself that ability. King of Cups in reverse. Now this is either your person that's coming in for you, your current partner. If you are masculine, it could be yourself. Now, Cups in reverse have either closed down their emotions or they're emotionally reliant on someone, which means that if you are masculine, this could be that you're spending quite a lot of money to make you feel better emotionally when it's not going to help you feel better emotionally. The only thing that would help you better emotionally is to put yourself in a space that you can get that emotion or receive that emotion from other people or yourself. And it's better to do it from your point of view because then you're not reliant onto other people. Nine of Pentacles, there's a message coming in, abundance coming in for you. So don't worry about it. And the Hangman. So it can be that bit where you're emotionally reliant on money to give you like a feeling of love, a feeling of purpose. And the Hangman in reverse means that you're holding on too tight when you're supposed to let go and naturally drop into the next thing. Nine of Cups, everything's returning to you. Lovers returning to you. There's a lot more options coming in for you and abundance coming in overall. The Sun in reverse, bring your love to yourself first before others. So bring your happiness and joy to yourself before you tend to dole it out on other people. Unfair judgment. It could be that you're around people that tend to expect you to spend money to be with them, and this can be a little bit of arguments of fights. You got King of Cups again, so this must be a very strong thing for you both. This this both being in reverse. King of Wands as well. So if you are masculine, there's a lot about other people here, which is interesting. Two of Cups, arguments and fights. Oh, and the Emperor. So this seems like a lot of it comes down to the way that you view your relationships, because there's like 4 different um personality cards here. So I would say these are untypical um people, that they refer to a certain personality, a certain person, usually, compared to the other ones that are very broadly expressed. So it's really interesting that money comes in, and then we talk about your relationships, then your money. So Queen of Swords in reverse, you're actually being kind of angry right now, and with King of Cups in reverse, emotionally dependent. The only person here that's actually normally doing their own feelings or expressing their own feelings is King of Wands. So he's extroverted, outgoing, just wants to do his own thing, very passionate. So these two in reverse, if they're both together, which they could be, and this could be your reading, is that your partner is getting very angry and you are emotionally reliant, so you're kind of taking your sadness out on this person. So you're both not dealing very well with your emotions. And Two of Cups in the reverse means arguments and fights. So it seems like it's more emotionally charged than anything. And so, therefore, your money could be the way that you problem solve your relationship. So, therefore, then you kind of gloss over what's happening in general with your relationship, because then you work on just creating that abundance with money. The Emperor just slowly grew into it. It could be just that you need time to deal with how you perceive money and hopefully build it up slowly. So it could be just that both of you have a very different mindset when it comes to money and how to spend money. And the Emperor in reverse means that you could slowly build it up over time and work on just slowly bringing that in without quick decisions on your part, how to change that dynamic, which is actually creating more of an issue. You, if you are thinking about like romantically, like how you deal with these things, I would say that you've got to think about how you deal with people in general. Like, is it easier for you to spend money on a gift than actually talk to someone? Is it okay for you to kind of have that time alone so you're not actually spending time with that person? And if you were spending money, do you have to do it together? Because you need to work on that. It's interesting to see that there's a King of Wands and King of Cups dynamic. This could be a younger person. It could be like a child if you're both married and have kids. Well, if you're not married, it could be just like having a kid, and so therefore this kid is very outgoing and it's taking all your energy, all your time compared to that, and you need to work together to kind of be better, um, and give yourself space, because it could be just that you're lacking that space right now. What else do I want to tell you? I think that generally, like overall, like it's coming in better, but I think you guys are not focusing on the future. I don't feel like any of the cards are talking about your future other than the Nine of Pentacles, that things are getting better, and Nine of Cups, that your abundance is coming in. Also, the Hangman, you just have to naturally think, okay, well, we're gonna naturally fall into something and just let yourself fall into it. The Sun, obviously, bring love and joy to yourself first before others, because what's actually happening is you're probably feeling very overwhelmed, very underappreciated, especially if you're in a relationship right now, and you need to kind of have that space that you kind of work towards something else, instead of just like having this kind of negative feedback. And because the whole addiction is there to easily fix something using money, there's no, like, it's kind of a band-aid. I would feel like if you're just using money overall to fix your arguments and fights with people outside and inside your relationship, you need to kind of talk to the other person. Um, Also, like money overall can be like something that one one part of the relationship kind of uses over the other part of the relationship. So if this is happening to you, you need to really put in perspective what you want, how you want it, because a lot of people live in a bad situation without kind of talking about money, talking about finances, and maybe it's time to actually put in love and accept that you can't fix everything with money. Unfair judgment. Yeah, I think that also your peer group is kind of making you spend money as well on them. And maybe it's time to either get yourself better friends that are cheaper, or specifically ask them to go to cheaper places. Because, like, if you put yourself out there and say to them, okay, well, we can go and get some cheap sushi, I'm sure that they won't mind. If they do, if they constantly put you down for not going to somewhere expensive, maybe they're not good friends. Yeah. So, yeah, slowly grow your own wealth here. Kind of like pay yourself first. So, if you don't know the richest man in Babylon, it put 10% away into savings first. I wouldn't say just savings, because it's very hard these days to keep that ball rolling, because inflation is going up all the time. So money doesn't hold value as much anymore. So that's important, to pay yourself first and slowly grow up your investments. Nine of Cups and stuff like that. I see overall, like, you've got a lot of things to think about. And a lot of it comes down to relationships you have and how stressed you get around these relationships. Put the love in the situation and think about whether or not these things are very good for you, because I don't feel like they're overall the best. And yeah, be more proactive when it comes to being out there and talk to people about, like, hey, I really don't want to do this, or like, can we do something else? And work through your fears. So, like, the addiction there is to worry, because worry is extremely addictive, and you need to work through your fears with money and kind of let some things go, which might be like some shadow work, maybe some self-reflections, or try to figure out how you're really like creating this fear in your life, and think about it very well, because there's a lot of times that we tend to not realize that most of the reactions we have are from the inside. So that's what I would say today. I don't see anything else here for you guys. So I'm going to finish up your blue reading. If you liked it, put a thumbs up in the chat. Please comment. If there's anything that you picked up that I didn't today, let me know. And I will see you soon. Bye bye. Hello, everyone that's here for the green part. This is your reading today. I hope you are well. This reminds me of when you are not overdrawn and you have some amount of money in the bank. It's like green, and there's a lot of good things coming in, so it's like go Power Rangers. Like a kind of thought of like, hey, like, you're doing well, green, healthy kind of finances. So I'm very happy that you're kind of really feeling positive about your finances. Uh, believe in the impossible. Ah, interesting. So a lot of times people think that things can't happen to them until they will happen to them. So sometimes believing in the possible means that you create it then into a possibility. And a win-win forecast is outcome is forecast. So there might be a little bit for you that you've had to battle out someone else. Three of Pentacles, life is going good, you're going in the right direction. Six of Swords, you're actually traveling quite a lot. Ace of Swords, new ideas, new ventures. So there's a lot of like great things coming in. Eight of Swords. Okay, this is a victim mindset, or a struggle with our own mind about something. We created this situation and we're then blind to that. Eight of Cups. Okay, so there's kind of a little bit of a, a wanting something to happen. This can be that we are called to question how we deal with with things overall. Three of Cups upright. So time celebration with friends or family. Love is upright. Ah, okay. So this is actually good. You do not have any kind of blocks with money. The tower, you fall down. Ooh, okay. So there's kind of a little bit there that we are gonna talk about. So I'm gonna go through all of these together. Okay. One thing that I did notice is the Eight of Swords and the Tower coming out for me to talk about them right now. And they're probably the worst cards that you've got overall. Not they're not bad in a way because they talk about some things. So there is a bit that you had your finances fall down for you in a way, like there was kind of something that you built or grew like very fast and it did not work. And that's just because there was a lack of understanding or a lack of forward momentum on this enough to like help you with the foundation. It was just not there. An Eight of Swords is just like then you get wrapped up in this kind of like it fell down, like it didn't happen, I wasn't good enough, and then you become very victimized because in your mindset's like, oh yeah, but it's going to happen again. And so therefore you're stuck in this kind of repeating loop between the tower and your there's like it's called a victim mindset, but it's where you get stuck in a way of thinking because you can't think of any other way that it could go. And so therefore sometimes that's a frustrating thing for most people because they tend to deal a lot um with the mindset without realizing whether it's inside their head or not. And this one is like where you could resolve it, where you kind of see outside and go, hey, it wasn't that bad. I learned something. I can grow this without getting stuck. So, Three of Pentacles, you're working, you're progressing along, you're doing great. Six of Swords, you're traveling. Sometimes it can be a very hard travel, but you're traveling nevertheless. So you're actually taking that on and working towards what you want. Ace of Swords, ideas, creativity, creating new things. Eight of Cups, just waiting for things to like love to go to return and it hasn't. So sometimes this can be a bit where you're waiting for something to happen that never happened and you're just waiting there. So it could be that this is actually a love thing for you instead of like this. And we had like the last reading that there was like love or relationships um wrapped up in that. And it's kind of interesting because I would say that it's not unnatural for that to happen because we spend most of our time either thinking about love and money, and why not have both at the same time? So that's important for you. Three of Cups, take time with your friends right now. Just think of like every good thing coming in your life. Celebrate with friends. Enjoy it while you have it. Just just celebrate some things in life. The love is like, look, you've got to realize that everybody that is in your life loves you very strongly, and so you shouldn't feel like um kind of like there's nothing there, like no one understands, no one can so it could be that this was like something in the past and you actually have love right now. So sometimes you've got to think, okay, well, um what's the worst thing that can happen? Like if we had that situation, it fell down and now it's okay. A lot of people can look after me. I'm not going to be like stuck and trapped in a situation that I cannot try another situation going forwards. Page of Wands, you're getting closer to what you seek, actually, is trying to relearn adventure and put it into perspective, like catch that birdie while you can. So it's trying to like learn to create that opportunity when it comes up. Knight of Swords, realize that you've got quite a lot of energy right now and you've put it to good use. So don't worry about it. It's not like you're not putting it to good use. Definitely not see the present. You're probably a little bit present focused, but see the future. and reevaluate how to get what you want. It could be actually that you're kind of being a little bit destructive the way that you want to get it. So it could be reevaluating how you get what you want. So that's interesting. I think this is a very like straight up reading. I think that you've got to realize that you are quite stable, and even if you took a risk and it did fall down, that doesn't mean that it didn't um it's not going to like it's going to happen like the same again in the future. It like lightning doesn't strike twice unless you got like something really like magnetic or like attractant of like lightning, and it probably could be like you could probably sit there and go, oh yeah, lightning doesn't strike twice, and you sit in the same situation, and then it's like, oh shit, that happened again, and then you realize that yeah, the whole ground around you is quite full of metal, or like there's a tree right next to you that's like um yeah, kind of like a very good tree for lightning to strike. So it's kind of an interesting thing because these things are the creators and biases of our reality. I think that a lot of times you've got to believe in like the impossible, and a win when a situation is forecast. So you've got to realize that um this seems like a lot about like your real intimate life. It seems like if you got someone in your life, that they do love you for who you are, and you shouldn't worry about what other people think about you, because everyone around you is very enamored by you. So you don't need to like create or force something that other people see. So if you're putting money into like what you look like, or those things that could be a little bit more like expensive, they say like makeup is expensive. So you've got to realize that people will love you no matter what. It's a very strong love. And you've got to accept that at the end of the day, to move forward, you've got to approach the kind of like fear in your mind that it's going to happen again, and just accept that we can move forward from now instead of dwelling here in the present without any onus to move on. I think this is your reading today. I know it's a little bit shorter than anybody else's, but it's just because it seemed so practical. You're probably a very practical person, so I haven't really needed to approach any of the cards without like specifics. So I don't think overall that you will have a confusion in your reading today for the green heart. But if you do have any questions, let me know in the description below, because it helps me a lot more to specifically know what I can work on in the future. So like it if you like it, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and I hope to see you soon in another Timeless Tarot reading. Bye bye! Hello everyone, this is for the yellow heart today. What am I thinking? I feel like you're called to seek happiness in as many abundant forms without it always coming from money. I think that could be a lot of things that you're doing. Medi- Meditate and think about what you're doing, and you're very close to like achieving your goal. So it's actually probably like around the corner for you. So don't worry, like something's coming in and it's very strong. The Emperor work on like just growing things slowly. Page of Pentacles work on your financial knowledge because that can be holding you back. Seven of Pentacles, you've brought like created quite a lot of success for yourself. So it's time to reap the rewards for that. Two of Swords, you're actually not taking a life choice right now, but you're called to do so. Ace of Pentacles, it seems like you have not taken a financial offer that you needed to. And Nine of Swords, it's actually time to get out of your situation and get up and realize that your headache is actually over for the lack of temperance. Time to control or moderate a lot of your behavior. Knight of Cups, actually try to get out of the self reflection you're in and kind of look around. You are cared for and you are protected in a way, so don't worry about that. There is an addiction there. Addiction to thinking that you're not going to have like money coming in for you, like there's no way to make extra money, and that's a lie because that's an addiction for you. You could worry quite a lot about where money's going to come from. And Eight of Swords in reverse, you're actually breaking free from the struggle that was holding your mind back. So it's actually really interesting to see that. Excuse me. So one thing that does worry me is these two here, Two of Swords and Ace of Pentacles. There is that bit where you're not actually trusting yourself to do the things that you want to do or need to do in life. And life choices, if you don't make them, the universe will make them for you. And then you have like a succession of non choices just adding up and adding up and adding up. And so, therefore, the whole idea is when things fall down like dominoes, then you can get in a situation that you chose not to choose so many times that you become very much a victim of what happens to you not being in control. Ace of Pentacles means that you kind of like didn't take an opportunity that could bring you more money. And the financial offers are always going to come in, but you should reevaluate this one and see if you can get it back, because I don't know how long the next one is away from you, and it actually seems like you're going to have that just on your doorstep instead of like waiting for the next one. Page of Pentacles, financial knowledge is important, and a lot of people tend to not use that, and they tend to put themselves in a situation that they never learn, and it's not good because a lot of times what holds people back is the lack of financial knowledge, a lack of like many voices that create a different kind of shift in your brain, and you're like, oh yeah, like I never thought of that before. Nine of Swords, it's like you had a lot of headaches, a lot of painful things happen, and it's now time to realize that this is going to start resolving itself on its own. So you didn't have to worry about it too much, but it's going to start easing and you're not going to have that as much anymore, which is great. Because if you were having like a lot of like issues, a lot of panic attacks or anxiety or headaches, they're starting to ease, which is great. That's spot on from possibly a very stressful situation. And this is probably why you need to meditate, just to kind of calm down your stress response and kind of get you back to being in a space that you're not feeling like you're automatically like, oh shit, what's going to happen now, you know? Seven of Pentacles, realize that you've got quite a lot of skills that are sellable and that you've worked very hard on, and you can show the world those for sure. So, Temperance, we've gone through Temperance, so moderation and kind of, yeah, moderate your behavior. Kind of, it could be starting a budget, to start a cash like envelope budget or something like that, where you're actually watching your cash flow. Use cash instead of like card, because you'll actually remember that. And also spending cash, weirdly enough, they did a study and they found out that you are in more pain. Your brain registers more pain if you're going to spend with cash instead of card. So it's a very good thing for you to think about that and kind of budget yourself. Knight of Cups, it's time to take a stock of what's around you instead of what has been going on for a while now. So take a stock, look around, sit there and go, hey, I can create these things. I can like create something that's new and like really close, you know? Instead of worrying about like what happened, think about it like, hey, we're very, very, very close. Realize that you're looked after and a lot of people care for you. So it could be just like, what if you fail? It's okay. People are here to look after you and protect you if needed. The devil in reverse, and this is the addiction to thinking that you cannot create more money. It's just one of those things where you probably trade your time for money, and you haven't thought about, like, hey, I could create something that I don't need to trade my time for money, and think about that instead. It's like, focus on that and the Eight of Swords, that you're letting go of that. I don't think that there's anything else I need to say to you other than growing things slowly and putting them in perspective of slow growth. Instead of rushing too fast into things, kind of just keep plodding along. Consistency is the key for everything. So I would definitely say I will leave this here for you. If you had any more questions, um, let me know what comes in for you as well. Like, put down in the description below, like, how long it takes you to get your goals. How long did it take you to create that budget? How long did it take you to like deal with this addiction response that you're like, I'm never going to be good enough, you know? Um, let me know, and I will see you next reading. I hope you have a really great day, and definitely like it if you liked it. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and I'll see you soon in another timeless reading. Bye bye, guys.